Throughout high school and college, Caitlin Clark never missed a single game because of injury. Yet during her second and third professional seasons, she has spent significant time sidelined. This video breaks down the complete timeline from the hard physical plays in 2024 and the missed calls in 2025 to the controversial throat contact from Alyssa Thomas in 2026 that sparked widespread criticism. Over the past 3 seasons, Caitlin Clark has been on the receiving end of more than 20% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls, leading many fans to believe this is more than coincidence. Critics argue that officials have repeatedly failed to protect her, allowing the pattern to continue. Sophie Cunningham publicly voiced her frustration, standing by Clark and criticizing the officiating after another heated moment. Share your opinion in the comments and let us know which hit or missed call involving Caitlin Clark you believe was the most serious and whether you think the referees should be held accountable.
It just needs to be better.
During the Fever vs. Sun game, a loose ball sent both players diving to the floor, but what happened next quickly became the center of attention. As Caitlin Clark reached for the ball, Alyssa Thomas appeared to drive her knee into Clark's groin. While Clark was already falling, Thomas then seemed to make contact with her throat using her fist as Clark lay on the court. Despite the referee having a clear view of the entire sequence, no whistle was blown immediately, leaving players and fans questioning why the officials failed to react in the moment.
The basket, and here's what hustle plays are all about. You got 3 Phoenix players around Caitlin Clark, and yeah, it's physical.
I mean, Caitlin to the ground, and ooh, that's a hand to the neck, and then Alyssa Thomas steps over her. See, that's the kind of stuff that can incite some future trouble.
The officials were in perfect position to see the entire play unfold, yet no immediate call was made. The ball was already out of the play. Caitlin Clark was on the floor with no way to protect herself, and Alyssa Thomas stepped over her, nearly making additional contact. Fans quickly noticed the incident without needing slow-motion replays, and once the video spread across social media, many questioned why the referees took so long to respond. After the game, the league reviewed the footage and issued Thomas a flagrant foul along with a 1-game suspension. The decision sparked even more debate because many believed that if the foul had been called correctly during the game, Thomas would have been ejected immediately instead of remaining on the court, leaving many to argue that it took public reaction and video review for the league to acknowledge what viewers had already seen.
Thomas a 1-game suspension. So what they did is they assessed her a flagrant 2 foul for what they say is a reckless contact with her fist to the throat of Caitlin Clark in last night's game. This was not called at all in the game. And then Clark, on a closeout by a Mercury player, came down, landed on a foot, and re-injured her back. That was also not called in the game.
Earlier in the season, Caitlin Clark had already been dealing with a back injury, and after the incident involving Alyssa Thomas, she was ruled out of the following games against the Los Angeles Sparks and the Las Vegas Aces. Although reports suggested she was improving and taking part in individual workouts, there was still no confirmed date for her return. Many fans believe this reflects a recurring pattern, with Clark recovering from one injury only to face another hard collision soon after. The sequence involving the knee, the contact to her throat, and Thomas stepping over her became one of the most talked about moments of the season because none of it was penalized during the game, and disciplinary action came only after video review and widespread public attention. For many observers, this incident highlighted ongoing concerns about how Clark has been officiated and led even people unfamiliar with the WNBA to question whether similar situations had been happening for a long time.
You got to give landing space when a player comes out.
Many fans have questioned how many hard fouls a player can take before they are seen as part of a larger pattern instead of isolated incidents. For those who have followed Caitlin Clark's career, they argue these concerns did not begin with the 2026 incident involving Alyssa Thomas, but can be traced back to her first month in the WNBA during May 2024. One of the earliest examples came in a game against the Seattle Storm, where Clark appeared to be struck in the head multiple times without any of the plays being called as fouls, adding to the growing debate over whether she has consistently received enough protection from officials.
Seconds left. Goes around to Gumake. Drives baseline. His shot rejected by Izzy McMcGore. Second opportunity is up and in by Nalissa Smith. Very entertaining first half about Seattle, and all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44.
In June 2024, the physical play continued as Caitlin Clark was involved in two more highly discussed incidents. One came when Kennedy Carter delivered a hard body check away from the ball, while another involved contact to Clark's head during a play with Angel Reese. Both moments quickly gained attention, fueling ongoing debate among fans and analysts about the level of physicality Clark was facing and whether officials were doing enough to keep the game under control.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Later in the same season, Caitlin Clark was once again involved in several physical plays during another matchup against the Chicago Sky. The repeated contact added to the growing discussion among fans and analysts, with many arguing that these incidents were becoming a consistent trend rather than isolated moments, raising further questions about the way the games were being officiated.
Here's Clark for 29 points, gets tripped up.
Another moment that drew significant attention was a hard body check involving Melissa Thomas, which quickly became one of the most talked about physical plays of the season. The incident added to the ongoing discussion about the repeated contact Caitlin Clark was facing and whether similar plays were receiving enough attention from game officials.
Take another look here at the heavy contact. A little bit of a shoulder there. Not a little bit, a lot of a shoulder there for Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah, they're not going to look at this.
That's got they might. It's gotten the fans here fired up.
Another incident that sparked widespread discussion came during the 2024 WNBA playoffs when Dejonai Carrington made contact with Caitlin Clark's eye during a play. Clark was left with noticeable bruising around her eye, and many fans pointed to the injury after she struggled offensively in the first half, missing all 6 of her three-point attempts. The play quickly became one of the most debated moments of the postseason and added to the ongoing conversation about the level of physical contact Clark faced throughout the year.
I'm calling her in, and I'm saying to her, I need answers.
When the 2025 season began, many fans felt the physical play against Caitlin Clark became even more intense. There were controversial hits to the groin, hard screens that were replayed repeatedly as viewers questioned why officials did not call them during the game, and eye contact that left Clark visibly uncomfortable for the remainder of a quarter. In another heated matchup against the Connecticut Sun, JC Sheldon appeared to make contact with Clark's eye during a play, and the tense atmosphere escalated further when Marina Mabrey delivered a forceful body check, adding another highly debated moment to the growing list of physical incidents involving Clark.
Quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and JC Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Clark is okay.
Sheldon fouls Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
Many fans have also compared the way physical contact involving Caitlin Clark is officiated with how her own reactions are handled during games. In an August 18th matchup against the Seattle Storm, Clark received a technical foul after hitting the basket padding in frustration following a tough play. Earlier in the game, Skylar Diggins-Smith appeared to make shoulder contact with Clark near the bench, but no foul was called. The contrast quickly became a talking point online, with many fans arguing that while physical contact often went unpenalized, Clark's emotional reaction resulted in an immediate technical foul, fueling further debate about the consistency of officiating. Since entering the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has been involved in more than 20% of the league's flagrant foul incidents despite being just one of more than 150 players, averaging roughly 1 flagrant foul against her every 8 games. Many fans argue that this points to a recurring pattern rather than a series of isolated events, noting that several of the same players have been involved in multiple controversial plays over the past 3 seasons. Clark went through both high school and college without missing a single game because of injury, but since 2024, she has dealt with a quad strain, groin strain, ankle injury, back problems, and a throat injury. These incidents have fueled debate over whether she has received consistent protection from officials, and the discussion has expanded beyond WNBA fans, with several national commentators publicly questioning the consistency and effectiveness of the league's officiating.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim? She spoke up publicly for the first time since Alyssa Thomas came out publicly and said she's been getting death threats to her and her family, and there has been racial slurs thrown at her. What I want to know, Alyssa Thomas, have you reported this to the police? Have you reported this to the FBI? Because they'll get on it and they'll find who's responsible.
After spending 34 years at ESPN before retiring, Linda Cohn openly shared her thoughts on the growing controversy surrounding WNBA officiating. She spoke candidly about the issue, adding her voice to the broader discussion and drawing attention to concerns that many fans and analysts had already been raising.
Officiating in the WNBA has led to most of this minutia. Yeah, most of this controversy. All of these controversies. Be better, officials. Is there an agenda here that I don't know about? Speaking of agendas, congratulations for Caitlin Clark. 3 straight years named and voted an All-Star Game starter. That's the great news. 2nd most votes by the fans for Caitlin Clark. The media, 3rd most votes for Caitlin Clark by members of the media.
This wasn't just another social media opinion. It came from a respected broadcaster with more than 3 decades of experience, who publicly questioned whether factors behind the scenes could be influencing how games are officiated. The debate also extended to player voting, where Caitlin Clark was ranked 11th among WNBA guards by her peers, even though her overall performance and fan support helped earn her a starting spot. Commentator Colin Cowherd also weighed in, arguing that some veteran players may have been frustrated by the attention Clark received before she even played her first professional game. He suggested that Clark has been treated differently from many other players on the court and questioned why some within the league appear critical of someone who has helped bring increased attention, viewership, and revenue to the WNBA.
In the WNBA, how do they feel about Caitlin Clark and how she is as a guard? Well, they ranked her 11th best among guards. Her numbers and all the other votes got her in as a starter despite that stupidity by many WNBA players who had a vote.
Stephen A. Smith has also spoken about the issue, arguing that it is unfair to blame the level of physical contact on Caitlin Clark's style of play. He has pointed to the repeated flagrant foul numbers involving Clark as evidence that the discussion deserves serious attention and has shared that view publicly. While different commentators have offered different explanations, their conclusions are similar. Linda Cohn has questioned whether something behind the scenes could be influencing the situation. Colin Cowherd has suggested that resentment from some veteran players may be a factor, and Stephen A. Smith has argued that the league has not done enough to protect one of its biggest stars. Although they disagree on the cause, all 3 have expressed concerns about the consistency and effectiveness of the officiating.
To accommodate the fans, you were flying the last 6 rows of Southwest Airlines until she made such an impact, you pivoted to private jets. And she's not on the 30-year poster. But Paige Beckers and Angel Reese.
Some analysts argue that the physical contact Caitlin Clark faces is simply part of basketball and that she must adjust to the league style of play. However, critics respond that similar plays often receive immediate fouls when they involve other players, raising questions about consistency in officiating. Journalist Christine Brennan also weighed in, criticizing WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert for avoiding direct questions about the Alyssa Thomas incident instead of addressing it openly. Brennan added that the league is fortunate Clark has remained as composed as she has despite the repeated physical play. Sports commentator Dan Dakich, who has previously criticized Clark, also expressed concern, calling the Indiana Fever's inability to protect her unacceptable and saying that if he were her father, he would be seriously considering other options.
You don't have an 11-year, $77 billion contract. You are building the league. You just reached an incredible collective bargaining agreement. You understand they did a great job with that. The league is growing, and it's reaching some of its aspirations, no doubt, but there's still a lot more work to be done. Don't get in the way of the cash cow. You don't sit up there and pave a way for her and don't compete. Nobody's implying that. But you certainly ride that tidal wave of popularity and use it to your advantage to build the game, not compromise and hurt the game by taking her out.
Across 5 different sports shows, the discussion reached a similar conclusion, with many commentators expressing concerns about the league's officiating. After the Alyssa Thomas incident, Caitlin Clark remained silent for 9 days, choosing not to release a statement, give interviews, or post on social media, while debate continued among fans and media. As the league faced ongoing questions and public discussion intensified, many people waited to hear Clark's perspective. When she finally stood in front of reporters, there was a clear sense of anticipation, with everyone eager to hear how she would respond after days of remaining quiet.
Officiating's awful and way too physical. Way too physical. The NBA allows physicality in the finals when the season's at the very end. But they want to keep their players healthy for the regular season and early rounds of the playoffs. Why hurt your content? Adam Silver in the league now. You get to the finals, that's a man's game. Wemby, good luck. WNBA regular season is officiated like UFC.
Sophie Cunningham spoke first and addressed the issue directly, without holding back. When asked whether the league was doing enough to protect players from online abuse, she said she honestly did not know what support was being provided and added that professional sports is an entertainment business where public praise and criticism come together. When Caitlin Clark was asked about the controversial foul, she said she believed it deserved a flagrant foul and added that the league's officiating needs to improve. Clark also made it clear that her concerns were not limited to her own experiences, noting that many questionable plays across the WNBA are still being missed despite teams regularly submitting video clips for review. She suggested that the league should invest in full-time referees and improve technology to help ensure calls on the court are more accurate and consistent.
What resources does the league provide for you guys as players to kind of help you try to filter through some of the hate and negative things that come through on social media?
I think that honestly, I don't know what our league does to help with that. If they really do anything, you can put out statements as much as you want.
Caitlin Clark also shifted the conversation toward how the situation was covered by the media, pointing out that her team's strong performance after the incident received far less attention than the controversy itself. She said that focusing only on the negative takes attention away from the game and does a disservice to the league. Clark added that she wants to see more positivity around women's basketball, noting that the sport deserves more celebration and acknowledging that the pressure of being 24 years old can affect her more than people realize. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham has continued to embrace the role of standing up for her teammates, often stepping into tense situations and confronting opponents when necessary. Her approach reflects the supportive culture within the Indiana Fever, where teammates are determined to protect their franchise player and ensure she is not repeatedly treated as a target on the court.
I think for us, as the league's just got to do better protecting our players in that regard. I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of been a discussion for 3 years now, and I think we really need to do a better job protecting the people in this league. And, obviously I've been involved in a few of those plays, but there's been plenty others across the league that, haven't got called, go back and post game or whatever it is, teams submit clips, nothing really changes. So I think overall the league just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas.
The message from Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham was straightforward: improve officiating, invest in referees, and stop allowing serious fouls to go unpunished. Their comments were not emotional outbursts, but calm calls for greater accountability after years of recurring concerns. The bigger question, they suggested, is what happens once the public attention fades. Clark argued that lasting progress requires meaningful structural changes rather than temporary responses. She proposed investing in better technology, treating referees as full-time professionals, and providing higher pay to improve training, consistency, and accountability. Her comments focused on practical solutions, emphasizing that better resources and support for officials would help them make more accurate decisions during fast-paced games and strengthen the overall quality of officiating across the league.
At the end of the day, you're in an entertainment business. That's when mental toughness comes in. If you're going to live by praise, you're going to die by the hate. And so I think that's on the individual person to have mental toughness. Some people can deal with it, some people can't. And I think you can see the ones who can. And unfortunately, there are some who can't. And it's not beneficial to them. But you can't control what other people say or what other people do. All you can do is control yourself, how you treat people. Speak up, and support people who, maybe don't have a voice or don't have the courage to do that. But, it's one of those things. You're in the entertainment business and you have to.
Supporters of change often compare the WNBA's approach to officiating with the NBA system, where close games are followed by public last 2-minute reports. Officials are evaluated internally, and repeated mistakes can lead to disciplinary action. Critics argue that the WNBA lacks a similarly transparent process. Caitlin Clark has noted that teams regularly submit video clips of missed calls to the league office, but believes those reviews rarely lead to visible changes. Many observers say the lack of public accountability has become a major concern. They have also called on Commissioner Kathy Engelbert to address the issue more directly by openly acknowledging concerns about officiating and presenting clear plans for improvement instead of relying only on general statements after controversial incidents.
Technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that.
After Caitlin Clark was sidelined with an injury, television viewership dropped from more than 1.8 million viewers to around 847,000, highlighting the impact her presence has on the league's audience. While the Indiana Fever have shown they can remain competitive without her, many believe no other player currently matches her ability to attract national attention, sell out arenas, and bring new fans to the WNBA. Supporters argue that improving officiating is not only about player safety, but also about protecting one of the league's biggest attractions. Throughout this discussion, critics have pointed to incidents involving contact to Clark's knee, throat, eye, and groin, along with concerns raised by several media personalities and Clark's own suggestions for improving officiating. They believe these issues deserve meaningful action rather than continued debate. Despite the challenges, Clark has continued to compete with composure and help elevate her team, even after being ranked 11th among guards in the players' vote. Share your thoughts in the comments about which play involving Caitlin Clark you believe was the most controversial, and if you enjoy this content, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates.